Commerce City, Colorado. What it's like living here, what you need to know before moving here, and how true is the stigma around it. All of that and more in today's video. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Mitch Mahaffey, your favorite redheaded realtor. Let's dive right on in, all things Commerce City. Alrighty, so for some context, Commerce City is a suburb of Denver, Colorado, along the northeast side of the Denver metro area. Now, the city sits about 20 to 25 minutes away from downtown Denver and only 10 to 15 minutes away from Denver International Airport. Anecdotally, this makes it a fantastic place to live if you are somebody that travels a lot or works at Denver International. And funny enough, that's been the case for the majority of our clients that have bought or sold a home in that area, was for one of those two reasons. Now, by now you know we split these videos up into two different sections. I call the first section the brochure, which is just, you know, the information that you read online when doing research, the sales talk that the developers and the people that live there will give you to make it seem like it's the best place to live, because that's what everybody does. And we also break it down into what I call real talk, and that's where I give you my unfiltered opinion on what the place is actually like. Now, there's not much of a brochure to go over with Commerce City. Honestly speaking, it's just a suburb. There's not a whole lot going on in the city as a whole. Now, there's been tons and tons of growth and revitalization over the past 20 years or so, but Commerce City tends to carry a stigma around it that you can read all about on websites such as niche.com and a bunch of other different publicly available sources. Now, first and foremost, here's what you need to know about Commerce City. It is broken up into two parts, and it's broken up into two parts because the two different sides of the city do not resemble each other, do not feel like each other, and frankly feel like two extremely different cities. We have the south part of Commerce City, which borders Denver, and we have the northern part of Commerce City that borders Brighton. Here, locally, all of the locals refer to them separately. You have Commerce City, which is the southern side, and you have Reunion, the Reunion area, and that's named after the massive development that has been going on out there for over 20 years now. Now, the southern part of Commerce City, the one that borders Denver, is extremely commercial. This is primarily warehouses, businesses, not a whole lot of residential areas. Funny enough, this is the part of the city that butts up against, like I just mentioned, Denver, more specifically Denver's Central Park neighborhood, which was more previously known as Stapleton. Funny enough, that neighborhood is the largest neighborhood in all of Denver and reaches the seven-figure price point very quickly, but we've got a whole video coming on that later, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out. However, on the south side of town here is also where Dick's Sporting Goods Park is located, and that is the home of the Colorado Rapids, which if you've never watched them play, even if you're not a big soccer fan like I'm not, it is a blast to go do, and it's a blast to go see. Definitely make sure that that is on your to-do list when you are here visiting or moving to the area. Now, that's really all there is to talk about the south side of town, again, because it is primarily commercial, really not a whole lot going on there residentially. So let's shift gears here, move to the northern part of town that all of the locals refer to as the Reunion area. All right, so let's talk Reunion. Honestly, as a local, as a resident, somebody that has lived in the area for a very long time, would not be shocked if one day it annexes and becomes its own tiny city. It is that big and feels that much different from the rest of Commerce City. Again, like I mentioned, locals don't even refer to it as Commerce City. The only thing about it that's Commerce City is the zip code. Really, that's it. It is so vastly different than the southern side of town that we just talked about. Now, Reunion has been in development for over 20 years, started all the way back in the early 2000s, and has just been growing non-stop since then. Now, Reunion as a neighborhood and as a part of town is, honestly, it's a great place to be. You have super easy proximity to downtown, and all of the downtown has to offer, downtown Denver, that is, you're super close to the airport, so if you're somebody that travels a lot or, like I mentioned earlier, works there, fantastic place to land. Now, the city itself, the part of the city where Reunion is. Like I said, this is primarily residential, and it is unlike the residences in the southern part of Commerce City. Now the houses here are more traditionally suburban, and you can see that the styles really haven't changed too much since they started building a long time ago. Now the name Reunion comes from that main development, that main neighborhood, which is really, if we scale it down, it's only probably like about this big. It's big, but it's not massive by any means. But so many other developments have been popping up in the area that the whole the lines get blurred really quickly on what's Reunion, what's not. So that's why people here locally just refer to it as Reunion and as Commerce City. Now there's tons of builders to choose from, and a ton of new construction activity going on in this part of town, and I frankly don't know if it will ever slow down, because there is a ton of land and space for the builders and the developers to continue to expand on. Now this part of town, this neighborhood, is so massive that Commerce City Police Department also has a substation or a sub precinct within the neighborhood. That should give you some insight on how big this area is.
Okay, so I just wanted to interject here real quick, because I don't know if I've done a good enough job quite yet explaining just how amazing of a community Reunion as a whole is. And like I previously mentioned, this community has been in development for decades. So you have tons of different builders that have built here, tons of different home styles, tons of different lifestyles that this neighborhood caters to. And I'll show you here an aerial footage of Reunion Park, the main park in the Reunion community. It is massive and one of the most beautiful community parks I have seen. Now, housing prices range from the low fours all the way up to the $1 million plus in Reunion. I mean, this is decades old, thousands, probably 4,000 or 5,000 different houses already built, with probably that much many more coming as the community grows. There's tons of things to do in the neighborhood. Like I said, it's a very, the whole point of this part of town is to be very community focused, very family friendly, very family oriented, per some of their own websites. Reunion itself has a ton to offer, including workout spaces, rec centers, tons of parks, tons of trails. And what's a really cool thing here in this neighborhood is the Reunion Coffee House, which is a small owned and operated by the HOA. It's a great place to go, meet people, hang out, enjoy a good cup of coffee. But the whole point of it is designed to offer job skills to children and people from less fortunate situations, to give them on-the-job training and real-world experience while they're still young before they enter the workforce. So it's a really neat thing that the community does. On top of that, I mean, this place is beautiful. I'll show you what it looks like. This would be a phenomenal choice and a phenomenal place to consider if moving to Colorado, or if you're already in Colorado looking to move from where you're at. Reunion would be a fantastic choice to consider.
So if you don't mind having to drive an extra 20-30 minutes to get to the mountains, to get to the foothills, to get to all the outdoor activities that Colorado is famous for, then this part of town, Commerce City and Reunion, would be a fantastic place to live. Now, real talk, my opinion, I love the Reunion part of town. I haven't done a lot of business in the southern part of Commerce City, so I haven't spent a ton of time there. But because we are headquartered in Brighton, the Reunion area, that northern part of Commerce City, like I said, they share a border, so it bleeds over really quickly. It is a fantastic neighborhood that is constantly being developed, with more and more amenities coming to it as these developments progress. All right, so let's recap. Pros of living here close to downtown Denver without being so close to where you pay a premium for cost of living. Close to the airport if you're somebody that works there or travels a lot. This is a huge plus. Another pro, it is constantly growing with more and more amenities moving into the area, and because it's been in development for over 20 years, there's already a lot to do. You can move here and not need to go anywhere else. Everything you need is already within city and neighborhood limits. So if you're somebody that wants quick access to downtown, easy access to outdoor activities, but doesn't want to pay the traditional premium that comes with being close to those, then Reunion and Commerce City would be a fantastic choice when moving to Colorado. Make sure you subscribe, because we have new videos coming at you every single week all about living in the Denver metro area. And as you continue to do research, we're trying to make it as easy as possible for you. We should have more videos popping up on screen right now to make your research as easy as possible. Once again, my name is Mitch Mahaffey, your favorite redheaded realtor. I'll see you guys in the next one.